Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. So last week I uploaded a video telling you guys about some of my perceived differences between Finland and Germany, and you guys seem to like that quite a bit. I'm so happy you did because it was really a lot of fun to make. But some of you guys asked me to tell you guys more about the Finnish culture and just about like Finnish people or Finland as well. So I thought that could be a really cool idea. I think I sometimes feel like that's not interesting because I don't know, in my head Finland is such a random country for some reason, because we're 5 million people, you know, people always know Sweden and Russia and we're right in between, and people always seem to forget about Finland. So I kind of feel like maybe it's not that interesting, but you know, maybe it is. We'll see. So in today's video I'm going to be telling you guys 10 things that is so Finnish, that is typical of a Finnish person or is typical in Finland or something like that. So the first thing that is so Finnish is that if you would see someone peeing on a street, you probably wouldn't even really notice it because it's kind of normal in Finland. It's not allowed in any ways, but at least when I lived in Finland, I saw it so often, day and especially night on the weekends, that I kind of stopped noticing it anymore. It was just normal, and it's not like anybody even tried to hide very well. At least they might have gone somewhere in the corner, but it was always in very obvious places, and I don't know, it was just so normal for me. And I noticed this especially when Alex came to visit me in Finland back then when we were still long distance, and he noticed some guy peeing on the street and he was like, "Oh, what's this guy doing?" And I was like, "Really? Oh yeah, that's strange." Like it was so normal for me. I was just like, he's peeing on the street. Like, I don't know. That's what people do, especially guys. Like, women no, but guys, yes. So that would be the Finnish thing. Like, I'm not gonna say that it's so Finnish to pee on the street because I don't personally know any Finnish person who would pee on the street. I just know that if you would see with someone, it's not that weird. And that's kind of Finnish. The next thing that is so Finnish is that we drink filter coffee. No espresso, no Americano or whatever it's called. We drink filter coffee. When you go and order a coffee from a cafe or anything and just say coffee, you will get a filter coffee, and then you will put the milk in it or whatever you want in it, and that's how that works, and that's how most Finnish people love to drink their coffee. When a Finnish person goes abroad, especially like Europe and I don't know, I think like anywhere basically, but especially anywhere else in Europe, like Southern Europe, Germany even, or Italy or France or anywhere, and they order a coffee, normally people don't even understand what you mean because you're like, "Can I have a coffee please?" And they're like, "Okay, but what kind of coffee?" And then they say, "Well, black please." So then they get an Americano usually, which is just an espresso with some coffee, and Finnish people get really surprised about this coffee because it tastes so different to filter coffee, what we're used to drinking. And they normally don't even think that it's very good at first, but they're like, "This is not coffee, it's too strong." And yeah, so that's kind of Finnish, filter coffee. Okay, third thing that I thought about that is so Finnish is that whilst we are rather like small country, I consider Finland one of the safest countries to be in. I never ever feel scared there. I don't feel that in Germany either, but I just for one consider Finland to be so safe. And still we are very, very secure conscious when it comes to locking our doors. So many Finnish apartments, in fact, I believe most Finnish apartments have 2 locks on their doors, always. So there's one normal lock, and then there's the turvalukko, which is the safety lock that you also lock with a extra key. And obviously that was very normal when I lived in Finland, and I came to Germany, I remember, and I was thinking, "Oh my god, where's the turvalukko?" Like, how is this a safe place to live in? You don't have a turvalukko. What do you do when you leave the house because you can't safety lock the door? And yeah, now I realize whenever I go to any other country as well, there's never a turvalukko anywhere. There's always just one lock, and Finnish people like to lock their doors twice or thrice if possible. I think very, very safety conscious, I guess, in that way. I don't know. Maybe the doors are just differently built, but yeah, that's definitely a very Finnish thing. Okay, so the fourth thing that I think is so Finnish is that we are very self-ironic, or how would you call that? Like, we make jokes about Finland and our country, and we can be very rude about it even, and we just practice a lot of self-irony, and we can laugh about ourselves a lot, I feel. But it's also only limited to the Finnish people being allowed to do so. But if somebody else would start to make fun of the people in Finland, it's not cool always for us, I think, because Finnish people are also just so proud. So it's kind of like self-irony versus very, very proud people. And I think that's amazing. I don't know, I think that's kind of, again, very funny. But yeah, Finnish people are very, very proud of their country and the fact that we're small and the fact that, you know, we're kind of unknown and we have this language that nobody else can really speak. So it's kind of like our secret language. And so many other things that Finnish people are so proud of their country, and most Finns will be very proud to be from Finland. Of course, wherever you come from, you're probably proud of where you come from, but I don't know, Finnish people have this very special art of being proud of their country, which can seem a little bit cocky even to the outside world sometimes, I think. Yet you don't always realize it at first because they're being so self-ironic about their country when they talk about Finland and saying how it's funny and people are so drunk and all they do is drink alcohol and just kind of make a joke about it. So yeah, I don't know, I think if you're Finnish, you will understand me, or if you've hung out with Finnish people, you'll understand me. But that is so Finnish, self-irony versus being extremely proud of your country. So the fifth thing that is so Finnish is that everybody has a sauna. Everybody uses the sauna, everybody loves the sauna. You go to sauna once a week, maybe a Saturday evening or Sunday evening, and drink some beer or whatever, and you will literally find a sauna everywhere. Every apartment will have a sauna. The smallest apartment that I lived in, which also had a sauna in, I think was 40 square meters big and still had a sauna. So literally every apartment, even in Helsinki or Espoo where I'm from, or anywhere in Finland, will have its own sauna, and Finnish people love their saunas. Not so much baths, but sauna. And I, for one, if I would buy an apartment in Finland, would not go for one that does not have a sauna. I think it's so important for me to have a sauna there because I love my weekly saunas. They're so good for you, and Finnish people love them a lot. Summer, winter, whenever, they will be using the sauna. It is such a Finnish thing. The sixth thing that is so Finnish is that everybody has their own summer cottage. Everybody basically owns 2 houses or 1 apartment and a house at least. And summer cottage is a very big thing in Finland. And in the summer, when we have like 2 months of actually perhaps relatively good weather, we like to go to our summer cottages and, you know, spend some time there, spend some weekends, spend even our summer holidays there, and just chillax and live like very kind of basic lives, because some of the summer cottages don't even have toilets or water supply. You like kind of just live like you used to live. Like, of course, some summer cottages these days, of course, do have those things. But I remember our summer cottage, that's from my family, for the longest time, it did not even have a toilet. It had one of those ulkohuussi thingies, which is the old way of how people used to go to the toilet or something, I don't know. And it was just so normal to go there. And also the summer cottages are mostly by a lake, right by a lake, sometimes not. Ours was not, for example, but mostly they are. And then they will have a sauna right next to the lake, and you will just jump into the lake, have a nice swim. It's really cold, and then you go have a sauna, and you do that like 5 times, and oh my god, it's so nice. It's one of the best things about Finland. Summer in your summer cottage with a lake and sauna. So good. But yeah, that is so Finnish. Everybody has a summer cottage as well. Okay, the 7th thing that is so Finnish is that we're not the most social creatures, I would say. As in, it does take some time for us to warm up our heart, I guess. I'm just talking about Finnish people a little bit in generally. I personally don't feel like I'm like that, and I'm sure a lot of Finnish people are not like that. But yeah, I just remember last year when we were in Finland with Alex, and we met with one of my friends, and we wanted to go to a bar, and then there were no seats available. that we could see of, but then we saw a couple of tables where we could see that if they would just scooch a little bit, then we could definitely fit there, no problems. And then Alex, as a German, where this is very, very normal, said like let's just ask for us if we can sit there with them. And my friend, I didn't think about that anymore because for me it's so normal now that I have lived in Germany. But then my friend who lives in Finland was like, we can't ask them, like, are you sure? Like, we can't ask them, like that's not what you do, you don't ask that. And I was like, that's so true, like Finnish people would never ask if they can sit on the same table as someone, and if you do, it's like, why is this person talking to me, why is this person asking this from me? And yeah, it's kind of funny. We ended up asking them last summer if we can sit there with them, and they looked at us weirdly and were like, they didn't really even say anything, just kind of nodded, yeah, whatever, fine. And they barely scooched, and then we just kind of sat there very tight with one another. And yeah, that was kind of funny. But yeah, they have the don't sit with us mentality, and they will make sure to put their stuff next to their seats and so that nobody will sit with them. Also in buses, they always make sure that nobody sits next to them on the buses. So when you're going home, you know, they will make sure that you're the last person anybody will sit next to, because they'll put their stuff next to the other seats. It's very funny. Okay, the 8th thing that is so Finnish is that whilst the whole of Europe basically is into soccer or football, we love ice hockey and we rule at ice hockey. We're very, very proud of our ice hockey team. Sometimes it's worse than in other times, but we love to watch ice hockey. We barely even watch football. It's not like even a thing for us because Finnish people or Finland is not good in football, but we love ice hockey, and I think there's like a World Cup or European Cup or something like that every year around the time of May as well. And we're probably like the only people in the world who are actually watching that, but we love it, and we're always cheering up for our team and want Finland to win. And especially in terms of ice hockey, we hate Sweden. You know, Finland has won a couple of times, but whenever it's Finland against Sweden, we're always like, no. But yeah, Finnish people don't really care that much about soccer or football, but instead are into ice hockey, and they understand ice hockey rules and everything, but not soccer or football. So the 9th thing that is so Finnish is that we do not tip. Tipping is not a thing. In basically the whole rest of Europe, tipping is a thing and you would always do it, but in Finland it is not. And I feel like I can talk about this as a person who used to be a waitress. I did not get tipped ever, very, very rarely. And whenever I did get tipped, I was always like, what should I do with this extra €1 coin? Like, I didn't have a wallet or anything with me at that point, because Finnish waitresses don't usually have wallets with them at that point, and they don't know where to put their tips because they're not used to, you know, sharing the tips or how to whatever, you know, it's just not a thing there. People get confused of what to do with tips. That's how a non-thing it is. Of course, if you're Finnish and you have other experiences, please do let me know, but that was my experience. And everywhere else, like in Germany especially, it's always like around 10%, or let's be honest, it's Germany, right? They're like very specific 10% tip, and everywhere else you would also tip that I would know of, but in Finland it's not a thing at all. It's always like, just rather don't tip because they won't know what to do with the money basically. But then again, I also want to say that if you do find your service to be very good and, you know, you think that they deserve to have an extra little bit of cash, that's really great. That's like, do it. And, you know, always, of course, that's better than not giving anything, and I'm sure they will be grateful for it. I just never knew what to do with it. Honestly, I was always like, okay, €1 extra a day. You know, maybe I was ungrateful, I don't know, but it's not a thing. Okay, and the last thing that is so Finnish is cruises. Finnish people love their cruises. They go to Sweden on a boat, and they go to Tallinn, so Estonia, on a boat. So Tallinn is the capital city of Estonia, and it's like a 1 to 2 hour boat ride away from Helsinki, maybe 4 hours depending on which boat you decide to take. And that cruise is really funny because Finnish people go to Tallinn basically in order to buy cheaper booze, and yeah, and then they might have some kind of fun on the boat, especially like the older people, if I may say so. Not me, I'm not that old yet, but they have like karaoke and stuff like that over there as well. And yeah, it's a very Finnish thing. It's like, if we don't have anything to do for the weekend, it's like, okay, well, let's go for a cruise to Tallinn or whatever, and you know, have a nice day on the boat. And that was a thing. And the next other cruise that's also a thing is going to Sweden, which is a 2-day trip, so that it's one night until you're in Stockholm, and then you have 5 or so hours in Stockholm, and then you have one night and come back to Helsinki, and you would just spend like 5 hours in Stockholm doing some shopping or something like that, and then you would have a nice buffet and dinner and maybe a little bit of party on the boat and come back to Helsinki again. And that's very, very Finnish. Like every Finnish person has done this at some point and they love it. So yeah, guys, those were the 10 very Finnish things about us Finnish people. I hope you guys found that very interesting or funny or whatever. And if you want me to do more of such videos, please remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for my channel for more videos. And guys, I will see you in my next one. Moi moi!